The Big Two, the popular acceptance and use of marijuana and alcohol. In America, two competing parties dominate the political landscape, Democrats and Republicans. In the battle for fast food supremacy, the two leading combatants are McDonald's and Burger King. When it comes to soft drinks, two rival brands stand out above all others, Coke and Pepsi. And when it comes to recreational intoxicants, the choice is clear. There's alcohol and there's marijuana. Alcohol and marijuana use through the ages. If you're like most people reading this book, there's a fairly good chance that you've been high from either pot or booze at some point in your life. Don't worry, we won't tell anyone. And quite frankly, for those of you who have been high, there's nothing to be particularly ashamed of or embarrassed about. Many experts believe that humans possess an intrinsic drive to deliberately alter their consciousness through the use of intoxicating substances. University of California, Los Angeles professor Ronald Siegel argues that this desire is biological, on par with such survival instincts as thirst and hunger. He's hardly alone in his assessment. Writing in the 2003 book Out of It, A Cultural History of Intoxication, British journalist Stuart Walton similarly determined intoxication is a universal human theme. There are no recorded instances of fully formed societies anywhere in history that have lived without the use of psychoactive substances. One of the world's leading scholars on the subject, best-selling author and noted physician Dr. Andrew Weil, agrees. Drug use is universal, he concludes. Every human culture in every age of history has used one or more psychoactive drugs. In fact, drug taking is so common that it seems to be a basic human activity. According to some researchers, humans started manufacturing beer almost as soon as they began harvesting barley, about 8000 BCE. In the book Alcoholism, the Facts, Anne Mansardo states that fermented fruit juices, wine, and grains, beer, were human beings' earliest beverage of choice. She jokes. A long-standing debate in archaeology centers on the question of which came first after the domestication of barley, beer or bread. The cultivation of marijuana can similarly be traced back many thousands of years. Cannabis-based textiles dating to 7000 BCE have been recovered in northern China, and the plant's use as a psychoactive agent goes back nearly as far. Archaeologists in Central Asia recently discovered over 2 pounds of cannabis in the 2,700-year-old grave of an ancient shaman. After scientists conducted extensive testing of the material's potency, they concluded that the ancients were using cannabis for medicinal and euphoric purposes. No obvious male cannabis plant parts were evident, implying their exclusion or possible removal by human intervention, as these are pharmacologically less psychoactive. Investigators concluded, results presented collectively point to the most probable conclusion, which is that ancient cultures cultivated cannabis for pharmaceutical, psychoactive, or divinatory purposes.